Hi, this is Jay Ossing from Twin Peaks The Return. You're listening to Inspirado Projecto.
He's gonna play.
We're here at the Chili Cookoff. We're in the VIP tent, and these fellas are going to play some music. The rain is out. However, we have full good intentions. Farewell Milwaukee song. You heard the man. Guys kind of have like the Ryan Adams kind of vibe, which is pretty cool. My brother's a huge Ryan Adams fan, and I thought anyone who likes Ryan Adams and that kind of just American kind of music might appreciate these guys. So there you go. Something Milwaukee falling. Milwaukee falling? We'll remember. Just keep talking. I'm recording this. I need to remember this. I'm putting this on my podcast. So they suddenly had a 4-string quartet show up?
Well, no, they had this 4-string quartet scheduled, but then they were concerned if it rained, that would ruin the instruments. Well, if you knew all along you were having these instruments, why would you even schedule it someplace where they can get rained on?
That's very true, and such a risky thing, and
Forget
such a
the
lofty
outside.
idea.
Go to the church. Just make it easy. You get enough stress on your wedding
But if you
day.
could pull it off, what a great feeling that is, huh?
Right.
Like, oh, we did it!
Yeah.
So then at the last second, 2 hours beforehand, you end up getting a phone call or an email or something.
A text.
Oh, a text saying this is the address.
Yep.
Yeah.
How many people were involved with this whole thing?
Oh, goodness.
200?
Yeah, about 200.
200 people?
Yeah.
So 200 people got a text saying this is where you're going.
Yeah.
Did anyone know who might have been on the list of who? Like, what were the main question marks in your brain with something like that?
Why? What was she thinking? Well, the even funnier thing is his sister, the bride's mother, said, you really need to have a phone tree set up, designate someone, once the decision's made, designate someone to start calling people and letting people know, and then those people can let people know.
Oh, wow.
And his niece said, well, who would that be? And his sister said, well, how about your godfather, my husband? And the niece said, well, you're talking about the one person who doesn't have a cell phone.
Oh my gosh.
Well, we still have a phone. I have a cell phone. We had means to communicate with people.
Everybody was at the church and the string quartet was still sitting at the park.
Well, if everybody went to the church and the street, and then they're just waiting for the people to show up. Like, where's everyone?
Yeah.
Or they've been playing the same song over and over.
Someone
Like,
forgot to
soon
text
they'll arrive.
them.
So that's crazy.
And his brother and his wife, who did go to the park unknowingly, said there were other people there having like photos taken for like graduation photos, and so if the wedding would have been going on,
intriguing.
how would these people have shown up and had their photos taken?
Okay. Oh, interesting. Oh. Wow, now the detective in me wonders. That's so interesting. So the whole idea for them to give the text was that the wedding had to be moved, basically. The wedding had to be moved. It's not going to be at the park, it's going to be at the church, right? If it rains, only if it rains. But it didn't rain that day is what you're saying.
It didn't. It never rained.
It was, I think it was in the forecast, though. And that's why they made the decision. I think 2 hours ahead of the wedding, the forecast was like a 30% chance of rain.
So to protect the string quartet, we moved it.
Yep.
So, okay, let me think. How did they end up arranging that ability for a church to just suddenly go, okay, yeah, you can have a wedding here?
They had the church booked months in advance. His sister said they have a church as a backup. And he said, oh, what church? And she said, I can't tell you.
What? Okay, so what was the reason why?
Just to keep, because they wanted it at that park so bad. They didn't even want to talk about
they didn't
the
want to think of that possibility.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, the church was only a plan B.
I love it. I see what you mean. They didn't want anyone even thinking of the possibility that it could be in a church.
Right.
They just wanted the thought, okay, it's going to be at the park.
Apparently. Power of positive thinking.
And now we have this astounding story to talk about. How cool is that? All because they decided to throw the Hail Mary and go, God, let's just try. Here we go. Oh, 3-point shot. No, let's do a 12-point shot. Let's throw it from way on the other side of it.
Yep.
This is so intriguing. I love the fact that, so 200 people, you say? You were in charge of wrangling them together? You were the ringleader.
No, I wasn't the ringleader. I was at the bottom of the food chain there. I was the last one to know.
Oh, you were the last one to know.
Yeah. We were probably the last one to arrive to the wedding.
Yeah, we got there very shortly before the bride.
Almost walked in with the bride and groom down the aisle.
You're like, okay, guys, just wait here 15 seconds. Okay, come on, honey, let's go run to the seats. So that's so, wow, this is so intriguing to hear this. My buddy, he shoots wedding videos out in Illinois. And he sends me the footage and I edit them. So, all day long, I'll be watching people get married. It's so interesting to be this, it's almost like being a ghost in another dimension. They have no idea I exist. So here I am watching this really interesting wedding, and it's up to me to sculpt which parts of their best sides are forever emblazoned into that archive. Because then I'm choosing between 2 and 4 seconds of each of these particular shots from different directions. I send them to him, and then he edits it in with all the other stuff, like the pieces of the ceremony, pieces of the reception. Whoa, I mean, it looks like a feature film. He puts it in 24 frames per second, so it looks like film. And you're going, this cannot be a wedding video. This is like a real movie, isn't it? It's amazing what he does. So having that in the back of my brain of watching...
They're amazing.
What?
They look like
you
movies.
They do. They do.
They're beautiful.
People can't believe they're shot with just a little Panasonic camera. So it's interesting to watch the different ways that the weddings are set up. All the different, from people's backyards to inside, just a little banquet hall to just all kinds of interesting things. So to hear stuff like this is really cool.
Well, then a couple years ago, my nephew got married in Washington, D.C., and his wedding was going to be at the War Memorial. It looks like a big, kind of like a big gazebo, a big concrete gazebo.
Overgrown-sized gazebo with a hard roof on it.
And I think it rained that morning, it was quite cool. But the weather turned out to be rather nice, just in time for the wedding. They did not have, they did have an indoor backup plan. Their indoor backup plan was going to be the same place the reception was going to be. So that made sense. But the story I vaguely remember is, so they had this gorgeous wedding in this monument. Some random person out taking photographs was walking by and went, oh, look at that pretty wedding. And because the apple blossoms were in bloom, so they took a photo of this wedding, and it turned out really cool. So they either posted it on Facebook or they posted it somewhere and said, hey, I got this gorgeous picture of this couple. And it got shared, and made its way back to my nephew.
I love it, like a message in a bottle kind of thing.
Yeah.
Reverberated its way back, echoed it. How did she find it? How did she see that? Oh my gosh, that's me. That
Some friend saw it and went, "That's John and Liz," and it through friend of friend, it made its way back to John and Liz.
So, what I'm curious is, this would fascinate me, is knowing the amount of time between when they put that word out, when they post it and when it got to her. That would be interesting to see that time frame.
How many friends it got posted and passed on?
Yeah. What was that change?
It wasn't very many, because it was somebody that knew who they were.
Because that's a cool domino effect when you think about those elements.
And that's where I don't remember the details. I vaguely remember the story that some random person took that photo, and it got posted somewhere. Somebody saw it and said, that's John and Liz. And it's a gorgeous photo.
And what an interesting documentary that would be is if you actually decided to follow the rabbit hole. So you go, okay, here they hear about it. And you go, who'd you hear it from? Okay, who'd you hear it from? Where'd you see it? And you go, until it goes all the way back to the photographer. That would be cool to see how that happened.
Yeah, I think I heard the story from my sister-in-law, my nephew's mom. Because I saw this gorgeous photo in the photo albums, and she said, yeah, that was taken by some guy we don't know.
Wow. So that must have been a cool reconnection, too, between that photographer who goes, hey, who is this? And now they're answering the call. They're going, hey, we're the ones that you put out there. So they must have eventually met one another. That would be cool if they met each other.
Text John and ask him.
So what do you two like to do? What's your passion? What are your hobbies? I'm not going to ask you what your job is. I'm going to ask you what your hobbies are.
My job is retire early.
Oh, good, very good.
Very retired.
So what kind of cool stuff are you doing?
I'm playing pickleball and softball and
pickleballs.
I'm in the best fitness of my life at age 59. Believe it or not.
Dude, you do not look 59. No way. The youthful spirit says a lot about the.
And I like to come out and see bands.
Yeah. Do you play instruments?
I don't. Regrettably, no.
Well, you're retired, so there's plenty of time to learn.
Yeah.
Plenty of instruments.
He doesn't sing well.
Well, neither did Iggy Pop. Look what happened with him. David Bowie, not really necessarily. He's got his own style. Everyone's got their own style. Bob Dylan, he's got his own style.
Tom Petty, he can't sing. He couldn't
There
sing.
we go. You're a singer. Do you sing? Do you like to sing?
I used to. I like to
why
sing.
is used
I
to?
like
Why do
to
I hear
sing,
the
I like to sing until he tells me to stop.
I put singing out to pasture, or, oh, what? Well, then see, you do duets then. There you go. You got your own brand, and together you're like the new Sonny and Cher of the millennium. You can start up a band. So what do you like to do? What are your passions?
I'm kind of creative. I like to do artsy type stuff.
What do you like to do? Like gluing up, like googly eyes to wood planks, or like what stuff like that?
I could do those. I like scrapbook. I make cards. I do googly eyes to wood things. I like spell out words. And
My mom and I would always go to the different craft shows. I can't tell you how many different craft shows she would take me to in the malls, just all these different places, and it was always cool. She taught me craftsmanship. Now that I think about it, and I think this is so great that you're talking about this, because she was the one who taught me about that. Where we go there and we'd see these people who are so like people who would whittle things out of soap, little pigs and things. I'm going, what the heck? How long did that take you? Well, 2 hours. What? That'd be like an 8 month.
and it might melt.
And it might melt. It was so fascinating. So what are some of your passionate things that you like to do in the craft shows?
Well, I just do a lot of scrapbooking because I like photographs, especially looking back at old photographs or even ones that are only like 10, 20 years old.
Mom, what were some of your favorite kind of crafts that you like to do? I know you would crochet.
Needlework was really my thing. I worked a lot with, like crewel work and embroidery. Not so much cross stitch.
Embroidery and
But there's like pictures and embroidering around, clocks. I made several clocks.
Those were cool.
I love doing, recently I got into painting birdhouses and I give them away to all my friends. Like Christmas birdhouses with the snow on them and the little trees and the little lights and stuff. Yeah, I like doing that.
what are they, peace poles or garden poles?
Yeah, I love doing that stuff. Yeah. And any kind of decoupage on wood, on plaster.
What's decoupage?
It's
You put a glossy, like you take a card or something, glue it to wood, and then
Oh my gosh, we had tables like that. Those tables were that, huh?
And that
Green
big barrel.
tables. They would have little interesting newspaper prints and stuff.
And I did a big barrel that had all the 1960s magazine headlines, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, all that.
did you ever do quilling?
Oh yeah, I love quilling.
My mom took my wedding invitation and quilled flowers all around it and put it in a
I
frame.
want to get more into that. I love quilling. I want to teach my daughter that. Macrame. Yeah.
Isn't it interesting when you think about these different crafts, these different sort of, they've turned into their own genres or their definitions, and it was just someone who tried some interesting thing. They go, okay, we're going to call this the sklingity skling, and then they're
70s crafts are coming back because quilling is big now, macrame is big again, and then my mom used to buy this. It was called fake fur.
Oh yeah.
And she'd make like these pointy flowers and arrangements out of fake fur, and it's like,
what? Interesting. Have you seen this before?
I've seen them. I've never done it.
Fake fur? Please tell me
you
more
would
about
like
that.
comb it, and then you would curl it up to make like this, and then you'd comb it and rat it and hairspray it. It will like
So you can kind of make a sculpture out of like this hair thing.
Yeah.
Was it? Help me picture. I mean, was it in the shape of something already, or did you make the shape out of what it actually already was?
It came as, it was like fabric. You cut it and then comb the long stuff like a shag carpet, and then you would, she would curl it and make like these teardrop things, and then she might like stick it to a wire or a pipe cleaner, and then I'm envisioning something, but I can't describe it. It just was 70s. It was so
Look up 70s crafts, you'll find it. It was right up there with the troll dolls. That's what started it. Yeah.
The troll dolls. Yeah, the Wishnik trolls, right? I remember those little guys.
Yeah, trolls. There were a lot of good crafts.
It's so cool. So have you been at any of the like craft shows, any of that stuff? Do any of that?
No.
Are you
Not recently.
Are you retired at all? Are you
Yes.
retired as well?
Yep.
So you two are retired. Okay, so think about this. This is what you've been waiting for, the moment where you can relax and really go after these projects where nobody's telling you what to do or what not to do or how to do it.
Yep.
Nobody is trying to get their agendas into what you want to do, and you can explore whatever kind of instrument you want. You can enter these craft shows. Like,
Every
how
day is
exciting!
Saturday.
It
Every
really
day
is.
Saturday.
Pickleball, right? You were saying you were playing. My dad plays pickleball. He started doing pickleball, and he started covering them too, right, in the newspaper. So they were all so excited, going, "Oh, Chuck, you got to check out my match!" Oh my God, it was so great. He really got into it.
I just picked it up in March and I'm playing 3 times a week now, every day.
Oh my God!
That's not
Every
true.
3 times a week.
You learned down in Arizona.
I played a couple matches down there, and then I came back.
Well, that's where you learned it.
Oh, so that's what started the inspiration, huh?
Yeah,
Where you,
somebody said, "Come on down, and I'll show you how to play." And
oh my
that
God!
was a good time.
Okay, so what do you think that you like most? Because every sport or like for instance, the crafts you talked about, there's certain things about them that really draws you to them. What do you like about pickleball the most?
I don't know. It's pretty fast-paced at times, and other times there's strategy. It isn't too physical, which is great for older people. It's like tennis for old people sometimes, I say.
What kind of what kind of ball?
It's kind of like a wiffle ball. It's about the size of a baseball, but it's a wiffle ball.
Okay. So, and it's like tennis.
Yeah.
With wiffle ball.
Or oversized ping pong. Kind of a combination.
So the beautiful thing is it kind of floats through the air. You get a chance to actually see where it's coming from or how it's going. It's not coming at you real fast. It's something that goes.
It can be.
And then you get. Oh, right.
If everybody's standing right up at the net, and it's just
boy.
bang, 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 bang right
Oh my
across.
gosh. So how close have you stood to the net to do something like that?
There's actually a rule. You can't stand any closer than 7 feet. There's a line there. And you can't get within 7 feet of the net. So
I never heard. So how do you? I mean, you must. That in itself must be an art form. Being that close to a net and trying to get that thing that fast.
Yep.
Do you try to get guys up to the net and is that your expertise?
well, ideally you keep them way back. You can slam it, but
Yeah.
Just like I said, there's all kinds of strategies. Get them out of position and then hit it through the hole, hit it through the gap, or you can try to hit them so they can't get a chance to swing at it. You hit them and it drops to the floor.
Do you get a point if it hits them and they drops the floor?
Yeah, if it drops to the floor and they can't return it, that's the whole goal.
So what do you think are the key things that you like to focus on when you're playing?
Just get it back over. Primarily, get it back over. Let them make the mistake. Don't force yourself into an unnecessary mistake. Just keep the pressure on them, and hopefully they're going to mess up.
So, do you find yourself learning tips and tricks from other guys? Do you find yourself inventing new things?
You have to sit and watch. Sometimes there's like 50 people sitting around to play, and there's only 6 courts with 4 people playing each one, so that's 20 court at a time. And so you sit and watch the other matches, and you see what they're doing, you see what works and what doesn't.
So it's cool. So it's not time wasted. That's what's so beautiful. It's an education. You're actually getting the. Do you ever take the notes, mental notes, or do you write them down?
I take mental notes. Yeah.
And then do you find yourself testing them out? Like, okay, let's apply that one right now.
Yep. I see somebody try a new shot, a lob. I go, hey, that's a good idea to get the guy off the net, push him back, just lob it over their head. So I'll get up.
That's incredible.
Well, and didn't somebody come to you early on and said, if you just work on this, you could be really good?
Yeah.
Did you implement those kinds of little tricks?
I'm trying it.
It's all exploration. It's all
constant. Every time I go, I try to come back a better player than I was when I went. So.
And it's fun because it's like the only way you can do that is if you play the game, and so they're like you're saying, everybody's lining up to want to play the game. Did they do sort of like a lottery to try to go, okay, here's the kind of order that people will play, or is it a first come first serve kind of thing?
Yeah.
We're playing 7:30. What time is it? I think we're playing 7:30.
I thought it was 6:30 to 8.
Is it? Is that where they're going? Maybe they're going to change.
Looks like it, yeah.
Oh, well, then it looks like someone's got to visit the restroom. You guys, it's been a pleasure meeting you. It's been a pleasure. So my name of my podcast, it's called Inspirado Projecto. Look at that beauty. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Look what we did. We dreamed it into existence. The rain has gone away.
Drying off the stage for you, so that's
They're
good.
cleaning up the stage?
Well, those kids are going to be playing, so they'll dry off the stage.
Oh, they're playing before us. Oh, good. Well, I'm very excited. You guys, thank you so much for talking. Thanks for putting up with me, and it's been a pleasure learning about your lives and your passions. So you're going to be podcasted next, okay? After the show. All right. Bye, Mom. If I don't see you in a second. But I might. Who knows? You don't know. That was fun. That was great. I'm seeing all these Venn diagrams. I got the synchronicity rock in my pocket, the rainbow moonstone. Well, I'm just going to talk to one of these band members. Hey, you guys are great, man. I thought that was a brilliant idea to come in here and blast the good vibes in this closed environment, because it's like, dude, what else do we got? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, we can't do that right now. Well, what the hell? What do we got? Oh, well, here's an audience, you know, and you're trapped in here with me. So it's beautiful because you're like, wah. And it was great because your guys' music, it's just, I recorded one of your songs. When I came up close, I was recording you guys. Falling Milwaukee.
Farewell Milwaukee is
Farewell
the name
Milwaukee.
Of my band, yeah.
Now, how long have you guys been together?
A while, man. Like 9-10 years. Yeah. Yeah. So
Are you from Milwaukee, Wisconsin?
I am. Yeah. Originally.
You were born there?
Yep. Well, I was born in Janesville, Wisconsin, and then spent most of my growing up in northern Milwaukee area.
And then what was like the first thing that started getting you interested in playing an instrument?
Neil Young, After the Gold Rush, the first track off that record, Tell Me Why.
Dude, you know what's so beautiful is right now I'm reading Waging Heavy Peace, his autobiography. Yeah. Right now I'm reading that. And dude, so of course you're bringing up Neil Young. When I was listening to you, I'm like, I'm feeling a ghost of Neil Young happening here. It was cool because it was an honest, like, folk. It sounded to me like something you'd hear back in the day, like a Bob Dylan. So it's funny that you're bringing up Neil Young right now because I'm reading about his life, and he's totally talking about, coming out to California for the first time, Route 66, and going to the ocean, and then not getting along with the hitchhikers, so they just ditch him somewhere. It's just like, dude, it's good. You gotta read it. It's good.
Shaky is supposed to be a really good book, Neil Young autobiography or biography.
So he's written a couple.
This might be a biography, but it's called Shaky, and I have it. I just haven't read it yet.
So did you find yourself at first maybe like when you were playing, were you doing Neil Young covers or how? Because I can imagine if he was my big inspiration for guitar, I would probably be doing a lot of covers around places.
That's just like, that's why I wanted to learn guitar, and then I started trying to write songs right away. Like I never did covers. I just always started. I think my first song I ever wrote was called Cowgirl in the Sun. And
do you still remember it? Do you know the melody of it? Oh God, that'd be great.
But I think it's a direct rip-off of Cowgirl in the Sand, and I called it Cowgirl in the Sun.
Dude,
it's pretty much the same melody. Good. So, that's all
great artists do it. Just talk to Weird Al. He's always doing that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So that's so cool. So then how many? Were you in a few bands, or is this like been the only band that you've been in? Or?
Farewell Milwaukee is like my first. There's a band called Mom Farewell, which 4 of us were in, and it was more like an alternative rock band. And then once we kind of found that folk rock, Neil Young vibe, we started Farewell Milwaukee, and it's been that ever since.
What is it that you like the most about the Neil Young vibe? What is it about his vibe that speaks to you?
I realized you could combine rock and roll with country music. That was the first time I realized that somebody did that and put that together, and then I started to realize a bunch of other bands did it too. But the way Neil did it and the way the music was recorded on Harvest and After the Gold Rush and all those, like, he got a barn and recorded pedal steel in a barn, but it had that roomy sound. The way that music was recorded and those songs were written, like, I was just enamored with it, I was just attracted to it for sure.
It's crazy because, like, all throughout the biography, he's talking about how important sound is and how important that analog sound is, and he created this invention called Pure Tone. Or his idea was to make this thing called Pure Tone, and what it would do is it would take like an MP3 file. He was talking about the vast difference between listening to that analog, that original thing, and all this compressed music in MP3. So his special instrument would somehow pull out the elements that were necessary in an MP3 to give it that, so you could really truly hear the music for what it really was.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because he's always talking about just how much he appreciates the sound.
Yeah.
How much that's a big important thing.
Yeah, for sure.
So here you're talking about that barn, and it's great because he's talking about when he bought that barn with Peggy, who's his, with his wife, dude, it's so cool to see the seeds of people, because I've been going down this rabbit hole trail of the Laurel Canyon music, all that great Echo in the Canyon. I just recently saw the David Crosby documentary, and it's just been holy moly, just been
Jackson Brown.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Graham Parsons and the Burrito Brothers.
If you go to iTunes, there's a playlist. If you just type in Laurel Canyon.
Nice.
After I went to Echo in the Canyon, because before that I was reading about Laurel Canyon, because I was reading No One Here Gets Out Alive by Jim Morrison, or about Jim Morrison and the Doors. And that was talking all about mamas and papas and carpenters and all those guys who just hang out in Buffalo Springfield, and then Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Crosby, Stills, all these little the Byrds, and you're seeing how they're all integrated, all the Venn diagrams, and who then breaks off to work with this guy. Oh, and now Peter Tork has helped out with this, and you're going, oh, dude, this is so cool to see. And then you go, oh, everyone was hanging out at Mickey Dolenz' house and recording all these archives, and so and Brian Wilson, well, he shows up playing piano. Oh, there's John Lennon. Okay, what? And it just blows my mind because I know that Mickey Dolenz has a whole bunch of these archives, and my dream would be to go, Mickey, let's spend a whole lot of time listening to these songs and making albums with them, please. Let's get them out there into the world, dude.
Amazing.
Oh my God. So you were saying that you're doing solo music too, right?
I made one solo record called Rented Rooms, and now, actually on the 13th of this month, I've got a new record coming out called For You Again, and we're going to release it up in Minneapolis. There's a place called the Parkway Theater we're releasing the show at. And
do you know what's that date?
That's the 28th of September. So
okay, folks, if you're out there, the full band, you're going to be able to see this happening live. That would be kick-ass if you showed up. Oh, what would be a website? What are some sort of social network thing they could find you through?
Easiest is probably just my name, benlubeck.com.
Can you just spell that for all the spelling bee enthusiasts out there? How would you spell that?
Ben, B-E-N, Lubeck, LUBECK.com. Or Google it, or I've got Twitter.
Do you have like Facebook and all that stuff, Instagram and all that?
Yep, all that
stuff.
So
they can definitely find you.
For sure.
Good. So I recorded your song, and I was sitting over there and like, okay, I got to get closer to the epicenter. So folks, that's who you heard earlier in this guy. So I had to get him archived.
Cool, man. Yeah,
Thank you so much for letting me. Oh, it's called Inspirado Projecto. It's called Inspirado Projecto. So after this, I'll friend you.
Yeah, reach out to me.
And then that way you can see what's going on.
Cool.
And I'll upload this whole experience because I'm with Yachtly Crew and we're going to be playing. And so I want to archive this stuff.
That's sweet, man.
So it's there.
That's really. So what is it called?
Oh, Inspirado Projecto.
Okay.
So it's whatever inspiring me, I project it back out there, and ideally that inspires someone else.
Is it a podcast or what format?
It's a podcast, yeah.
That's sweet.
So you can find it on Spotify, actually.
I'll check it out.
You can find it on Spotify and all kinds of different apps.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a podcast app. It's by Anchor.fm.
Okay.
So if you ever want to start your own podcast, dude, for someone who's got so many ideas, if you got so many ideas, and you find them writing them down, why not just dictate them to yourself and then make that into a podcast? That's all I've been doing.
That's cool.
So ideas, the most absurd, whatever. If I find someone who's interesting, I record that immediately. I follow through with that. I find people on the subway. I talk to the Uber drivers. So it's just like a thrill because I've been learning all these new people and finding these stories that no one else will ever hear.
Yeah, that's really special.
Yeah,
that's
and
cool.
it's fun to share that now.
Yeah.
And so then, ideally that will then inspire people to learn more about just the people that are around them and ask more questions because there are entire universes with it. This is just one tiny piece.
Yes.
Imagine all the different avenues I could have gone down. It's just freaking brilliant.
Approach,
it's fun. It's such a brilliant, like, not like, oh, what a great idea, but it's such a brilliant feeling to know, okay, cool, we're turning up the volume on people's passions and talents. I sat with a couple over there. I learned so much about their lives and what they're interested in and what their passions are. I think people light up when they talk about the things that are their hobbies, especially the things that they consider their hobbies. because they got a 9-to-5 job or something. They're going, well, I really like painting, or I really like, making wooden sculptures. Aha, that's the thing I want to hear about. I don't care about this insurance salesman stuff. Let's talk about this, and then ideally what that does is it starts sparking and making them remembering, and getting them visualizing in that aspect, and then ideally then recognizing it when they come across people in their life who echo those sentiments, for them to go, you're someone let's do this. Let's work on this. You're someone who echoes that passion. Okay, maybe this is a sign.
Yeah.
So it's crazy when I have seen how the reverberations have worked, and I just love keep putting it forward. It's so fun.
It's a special thing, man. Like with all the life hurdles that are being blasted at you every day, and to have conversations like this, I mean, there's a lot of beauty out there in the world, right?
Oh, yeah. It's lots of unexplored territory.
And you're exploring it. That's awesome.
Shit, it's so fun. It's like being a pioneer, and I don't have to travel the Oregon Trail to do it.
Yeah.
These are the Oregon Trails.
Yeah.
You're the Oregon Trail,
cool.
dude.
You're uncovering
and I'm not going to get diphtheria.
Yeah, exactly.
Cholera.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to get leprosy. My arm falls off. It's just... It's so fun because I get to learn all these people, and then I connect with them, and then I get to share them with all the other. Because then I think about the different aspects of like ways in which I can combine people. That's the other thing I love doing, is bridging the gaps and connecting the connections. Because it's like, here's a star, there's a star, there's a star. Now let's build the constellation.
Yeah, that's sweet, dude. That's awesome.
It's fun.
Cool.
Yeah. So thanks for talking, man. It's been a pleasure to meet you, man.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. Oh, my name is Kurt.
Kurt?
Well, we go by Stony Shores and Yachtly Crew.
Okay.
But yeah, so Stony Shores, I will get a hold of you.
Yeah,
hold
man,
you and
reach
send
out.
you this.
Yeah, I'd love
absolutely.
to stay in contact.
Absolutely.
What's the deal with you guys? Are you?
70s and 80s love songs.
Sweet.
Soft rock, like Michael McDonald, Toto, Christopher Cross, all the favorites, that make you travel down memory lane.
That's sweet.
And that's what's fun too, is that these guys are all really good people. They got each other's backs, which is a rarity in a band.
Yeah.
And we're singing love songs on top of it. So the intention is always, what more can I give you?
Yeah.
Obviously, when the audience is receptive, then we really, really can just really give it back and forth to each other. When it's like we're giving this to you, and it's just go, and you can just feel it go, and you're going, okay, that's a much different kind of exhaustion than when you're going, ooh, and they're going, ooh, and it's just a volleyball game. Like here it was,
I've been to both.
Oh yeah, and it's fun too because then it really makes you appreciate the ones when people go, oh yeah, part of it.
Sweet.
That's great.
What's the deal with the stage? Are you guys going to be able to play up there?
Yeah, I think so. Is it soaked?
I don't know. I haven't been back up there yet. It was getting wet, so I don't know what's going on.
That's Philly Ocean, the lead singer.
Sweet.
So I'm Stony Shores. There's Paulie Shores, who's the saxophone player.
Awesome.
There's Baba Booey, who's the bassist.
Yeah.
Sailor Hawkins on the drums. We've got Tommy Bowie on guitar, and then David Bowie on the percussion.
Nice.
So it's a family band.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Where are you guys coming from?
Yeah, Los Angeles.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's what's so crazy, too. I just got to share this sentiment with you since we're talking to Cosmos. So no one here gets out alive. As I was reading that, I started getting an idea for a song about Laurel Canyon. So all I've got so far is just the chorus, and I've been playing around with this, and I started imagining myself, okay, and this is before I was in Yachtly Crew, and I thought to myself, I want to bring back, because all those good vibes were up in Laurel Canyon, and they stumbled down on the Sunset Strip, and they played those clubs, and they stumbled back up to Laurel Canyon. And Laurel Canyon's this beautiful, naturist, magic town. They come back down and they go play on Sunset Strip. Zoop, 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 zoop. So they're always putting it out there, which is really amazing and insane, is that here were all these positive, beautiful, peaceful love songs that were happening concurrently with that Vietnam War. So you have this severe, and then you got severe, and you really saw like the pure coexistence of the yin and yang really big time. And to think that those guys out there in Vietnam were listening to these love songs, like anytime you see those like Vietnam movies, like "Our fortunate son," or like "All the leaves are brown, the leaves are brown, and the sky's gray," and you just see like that weird juxtaposition kind of thing. what's interesting is then that because that was such an unignorable thing, they started making the records. I mean, it was crazy because it just kept picking up and picking up. So I had all this in my brain, and I'm thinking, okay, I want to be in a band that's bringing back that vibe, the loving vibe on Sunset Strip. That was the only intention I had in my brain. And me being on the Sunset Strip, participating in whatever that was, however, if I was just the guy going with the maracas, however it was, that would be happening on Sunset Strip. And then somehow Yachtly Crew comes along. And we've been playing on the Sunset Strip at the Viper Room. And somehow up and down the strip, the people know who Yachtly Crew is because we're splashing with tidal waves of love songs.
Super cool, man.
They're not used to that. The Viper Room is like mostly heavy metal bands. The beautiful thing is, check this out. There's a tribute band called Peace Frog. They're a Doors tribute band. They play every Sunday at Viper Room. So they're like the heartbeat of that era going, blah, 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 every Sunday. And then we come in,
I thought that was
the
really
first
cool.
Friday. Oh, yeah, I love it.
Isn't that?
Oh, God, I want to interview you, too. Okay, so this is great.
what are you doing?
This is from my podcast,
Okay.
Inspirado Projecto.
Oh, wait, what is this little Apple device you have?
Well, okay, I had to figure this whole thing out. Now, this is simply a microphone. This is only a $6 microphone. It used to have a fuzzy top, but I hate the feeling of Nerf. I had to just yank it off. So this used to just plug in my old phone, but since these iPhones have that like lightning thing or whatever,
yeah.
I had to find. I looked all over, high and low,
That's
trying to
hard
find
to
some
find.
way to get that thing going. What's beautiful is you can just sit it down in the middle of the table and it catches everything. It really catches stuff.
Oh, that's
good.
awesome.
You
See,
never
I have an
expect
Android,
this.
and you can plug. There's microphones you can buy that you just plug right into the 1/8" jack. But I've never found one for an Apple device.
Okay, can I send an email to you? I'll send you
Yeah. How
the
this
little
works.
specs
Oh
of
my
what I
God,
did for
that's
this.
awesome.
Because it's great. You take it around. If you do podcasts,
Yeah.
and the app, I'll give you the app
Yeah,
too
oh,
that
yeah.
you use, whatever.
Yeah.
And you know what's so funny? It uploads to iHeartRadio.
Oh, really?
My podcast is on iHeartRadio. It's on Spotify.
That's
it's on
great. What's
it's
the
on
name of your
TuneIn,
podcast?
iTunes, Apple Podcasts. I mean, it's like crazy. 30 different distribution sites. Oh, it's called Inspirado Projecto.
Okay, Inspirado Projecto.
Yes.
Inspirado Projecto. I'm going to tie that.
Oh,
in.
could you do a promo? That would be great if you could do a promo. I will play it before the podcast.
There you go.
I also
There you
have
go.
I was telling about my radio show. I'll
Yeah.
play it on my radio show
Oh, that's
too. And then I'll
awesome.
get one from you too, right?
Sweet, yeah.
I'll split them. I can do that with this. I can split it.
That's cool. So I this is recording now. Oh crap!
Oh, yeah.
We're having this conversation as
37.
we
We just
speak.
had a great interview, and we'll continue.
Well,
with this.
I'm sorry, and I interrupted it.
No, this is
That's
part
the
of it.
beauty
This is
of
part
it.
of
We were
it. The
just talking
cosmic
about
soup
that.
is stirring.
I love
just
this.
happens.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what do you want me to talk about? I have no idea.
Well, okay, if you could give me a promo. Okay, so for instance, what's your name? And you could say, state your name from iHeartRadio, and you're listening to Inspirado Projecto Radio.
This is Maxwell from iHeartRadio, and you're listening to Inspirado Projecto.
Nice. Okay, so if you could state your name, say the name of your band, and you're listening to Inspirado Projecto.
Hey, this is Ben Lubeck from Farewell Milwaukee, and you're listening to Inspirado Projecto.
Guys, I love it. Okay, good. Now, I want to interview you as to how did you first get into radio? What inspired you to get into radio?
Okay, I'm going to really reveal my age here.
WKRP,
Okay,
right?
so,
Just like me.
actually, that was part of it. But basically,
part of it,
I
yeah.
was the junior high kid that was afraid to ask the girls to dance, right?
Yeah.
And so when the DJ came to do the dances from the radio station, I was the geek that went up there. Can I pull your records, man?
You were like an assistant.
Yeah,
to the DJ.
I would pull his records.
I love it.
And he'd say, "Hey, pull Casey and the Sunshine Band." I'd pull Casey and the Sunshine Band.
That's great. Oh my God.
Right. And then when I got into college, I wanted to be a news anchor, but I got a an hour shift on the campus radio station that broadcast in the dining hall.
What a great gig. They're
And
trapped with you. They're trapped with you.
I got lunchtime.
Dude, that's
One lunch a
brilliant.
week.
Oh my God, that's great.
And I just thought, I don't want to be a vain news anchor that has to really look good all the time. I can wear whatever I want. I can play music, man,
Be the man
just
in the
like my
shadows.
DJs
Yeah.
did in junior high.
Wearing your pajamas.
Yeah, and I was addicted, and so I worked a lot of $8,000 a year jobs in my early
It's
career.
brilliant. Wow.
Yeah, so
one thing just became another because I'm sure you inspired someone who goes, oh yeah, this guy I could use for this. It's like, oh yeah, I like that.
And you guys can appreciate this based on some of the music you play. Is when I got my first part-time job, paid job, I was a sophomore in college, and we had disco sweeps at quarter after and quarter of the hour. We had to beat mix 2 disco records, the vinyl, and that's how I learned to beat mix. And I became like one of the most popular DJs in college because I was buying the companies that would make club records, vinyl, discs that were mixes of Donna Summers and all that. So I subscribed to that, and I spent all the money I made on the radio on that, and I made a bunch of money DJing in college because I could beat mix.
Oh my God!
So,
wow, you're like a mad scientist of sound.
I was, and now they're making millions of dollars. Some of these DJs, I'm like, hey, I was doing that for $45 at a frat party.
Oh my! It's so funny. There's this phrase that says the pioneers get the arrows, the settlers get the gold.
Ain't that the truth?
So you're a pioneer. You got the arrows. You paved the way for the settlers.
That was hilarious in a way. And I tell people that, they go, what? Most of the young people in the business, like, you beat mixed vinyl. Where's the CDs? Didn't you do CDs? I'm like, yeah, that was like way later in my career.
Right.
I've been around a long time.
Now, were you a fan of Casey Kasem?
Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And I was also kind of crazy. I actually had some parody songs in my early career that got on Dr. Demento, and I don't know if you've
love Dr. Demento.
Oh
That's a big inspiration behind this whole thing.
I don't know.
Huge.
I don't know if you remember a song called "I Want to Be a Cowboy."
I want to. No, wait. Oh my God. I want to be a cowboy.
Right. So I did a parody of it called "I Want to Be a Golfer," and it made the Dr. Demento show. So.
Which is so great because you made up a version of, because you were just saying something about Sun with the Neil Young song, which was in. Say that again.
It was called "Cowgirl in the Sun," and I just ripped off "Cowgirl in the Sand." That was my first song ever.
That's awesome.
I love
Brilliant. That's how you think. And as songwriters, that's how you think. Yeah. So
I want to be a cowboy.
And I actually, in storage, I have, because Dr. Demento back in the day came on vinyl to the radio stations.
Oh my God.
And I still have that show that it was on. So
Fish heads.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Fish
heads. So I'm kind of a Dr. Demento geek.
And he helped out Weird Al, which was great because we mentioned Weird Al earlier.
I had a character many years ago. His name was Elton Jones. And he rapped Elton John songs.
Okay, what's one of his songs? After you explain who he is, please. He's got to.
I remember when rock was young. Me and Susie had so much fun. And that was that. And it's like, and nobody took him serious. It's his character that come up with something original.
Just so committed to, unapologetic in his artistic expression.
Yeah.
So it turns out this is gonna flip your brain. Hey, Robin! Hey, Robin, come here a second. I got to introduce you to come here a second. Join the Druid Circle. Okay. You're going to flip your lid when I don't even want to ruin a surprise. So, guess what? He's a huge fan of Casey Kasem. I immediately thought of you.
Sure,
Please tell him exactly what you told me yesterday or today.
We were talking about Hanna-Barbera?
Well, and your collection.
Shaggy?
Your collection.
What about my collection?
You would use your DJ skills and using your collection of Casey Kasem stuff. Tell them about this.
Yeah, I just have a whole bunch of the top 40
You have the discs.
records.
You have the vinyl.
The vinyl.
Oh my God, that is so awesome. I have
it.
Casey Kasem's
Stacks
last show on vinyl.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's super cool.
And and at that point they were sending it out in digital form too. But I have it on vinyl. Oh yeah, Casey. Oh, come on.
Right?
I told him he's got to somehow find a way to digitize, because I said there's going to be someone out there who wants to hear this. I said you got to somehow get this on it. What if he gets to digitize it and somehow gets it out there? Archive.org.
They are rerunning his shows now on radios and classic hit stations.
And I got it because one of my old friends worked at a radio station.
Oh, and he gave that to you?
Well, yeah, and he used to spin it.
That is
so,
cool. That's
yeah,
cool.
So
yeah. I was also a big Rick Dees fan back.
I was going to say Disco Duck,
he had
right?
a top 40 program too, which I have all those on vinyl too. So.
Oh my God!
I wanted to be him when I was, young. So everybody wanted to be.
Oh,
I like he had a headshot where his eyes were really wide. And he's like, right?
Yeah.
And so I went and I tried to replicate it exactly. And I'm working at a little radio station in Texas, trying to be Rick Dees. So.
Oh my God, that's great.
Voice, by the way.
Yeah, he does.
No, you have a great voice.
Oh.
Yeah,
I have a big mouth.
Oh yeah.
Big mouth. I actually, when I was young, when I still don't, there are some guys who have the, really that, big mean voice, talking about.
There it is.
Right. And I always wanted that, but I would always sound so young and sounds like a chipmunk when I was young. And I went to, I was just inducted in the Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for my radio work here. And it's kind of cool, it's not, but it's the Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So
it's great.
So there are all these old guys that are 10 years older than me that did radio back in the day. And like, yeah, you're really lucky, man. 'Cause you still sound young. We can't get hired because we sound so old. I'm like, you were the guys we wanted to be. You were the guys that had the cojones back in the day.
Right. Oh,
right?
yeah, dude, totally.
Yeah.
Diving right in. Now, were you a Gene Shepard fan?
Yes, I know who Gene Shepard is.
The voice of not Wonder Years. Forgive me. Christmas Story.
Right, Christmas Story.
Yeah.
Right.
All that was based on his DJ stuff. He would talk about his times.
Right,
up.
because there's the radio station in the movie, right? In that. So yeah, and he had that kind of really cool voice, man. I don't know. I kind of dig those old AOR jocks, the old when rock radio. The album rock radio came out, and they were just so cool. The WKRP type.
Oh yeah,
guys,
WKRP.
They were just so cool, man. And then there are the guys that tried to rhyme, the disc jockeys that rhymed everything they said, and God, I'm too old.
The poets
I
of
go
the
way back.
airwaves.
Yeah. But anyway, radio's
That is
fun.
incredible.
Still in my blood. So.
Oh my God. How many of these records do you have, Robin?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Have you ever heard
More than 10? More than 10?
More than 10, yeah.
Have you ever heard the Casey Kasem outtake where he got angry about the letter that somebody sent in about their dog died? And Casey let loose, man, and we saw the dark side of Casey. It's on YouTube. You've got to listen to that. You're going to hear.
Contemplate whether you really want to hear that
it's
side of him or not.
totally make Casey Kasem a real human being.
After the bell is rung, you can't unring that bell.
Yeah,
You can't unring that bell.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Somebody sent up a letter about a dog died, and he came out of an up-tempo song, and he's yelling at the producer.
Yeah, because they put like a happy song after that or something, right? Like,
it's like
everybody dancing. The woman's dog just died.
And then he's like, let me talk to so-and-so. Let me talk to so-and-so. Bleep it, so-and-so.
Oh, my God.
It was awesome.
Well, and it's funny because then we were talking about how many voices he did for the cartoons, all those Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Shaggy!
Oh, yes, I would love to hear outtakes for those.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
What is this dialogue?
Yeah, totally, right?
Yeah.
Like I was totally hanging out with Scoob. And what am I supposed to be saying?
I'd like to hear it. Just for fun, Dirty Shaggy. Just
totally amazing.
That would be a good parody, like hip hop artist, Dirty Shaggy, wouldn't it?
Dirty shit. And he dresses like him and everything.
You could do it.
Really
You
good
could do the
idea.
voice.
Yeah.
You should do it.
Oh yeah.
That is a really
He's got a person who
Dirty
dresses like
Shaggy.
Scooby-Doo at the same time, right? And Scooby-Doo starts rapping.
like
I'm eating a sandwich.
She clamped my head in and I couldn't breathe, man.
Oh my God.
That's it. But you gotta rap it or something. You gotta be a hip hop.
You got him.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Behind it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. A little beat,
You can just take regular Shaggy dialogue.
Yeah.
And it's
It's
Shaggy
like
that
your
sounds
roast.
dirty, but it's really not. And then you put it to you
Totally.
mix it with a good
Clean
beat.
and
Oh yeah.
Old school
Yes,
shit.
yes, yeah.
That kids
Yeah.
can listen to
Right.
that know what's going on.
You gotta
But the adults get it.
Oh yeah.
Right? Because that's all the old comedy humor.
So
Yeah.
could you just cut and
clean,
edit all of
but
his
it's dirty as
dialogue?
fuck.
Right,
What if you cut and
You
edit his
you
dialogue?
gotta sample some Sugar Hill Gang and put it underneath.
Oh yeah.
You know.
What if every single beat just had that same
Right,
beat? It's just a-
right.
We're at an airport in Minneapolis right now, waiting for the airplane. This idea popped in my brain for It'd be like a Saturday Night Live skit kind of thing, just an absurd skit called The Meanderers, and it's the people who just could care less whether they're standing in their way. They could care less whether they enter your pathway really slow or not. They could care less whether they're all over the sidewalk. They could care less whether they're just all over the place. Just the most inconsiderate, just completely unaware of what's going on. And so these people are walking around, and they're always getting yelled at people, like, come on, move out of the way! Or, I'm trying to walk through, And they're just constantly, they're stopping, and it's really slow to take pictures, or to go, oh, no, I mean to go this way. And then they just stop in the middle of what they're doing and then just turn right back around backwards. And so, and I was just imagining those kinds of people where you see people trying to do their best to sort of anticipate what their next move is, where they're trying to like go, where they almost like fake them out in their peripheral, maybe in leading them into believe that they're going to walk that way, so then they walk the other way. So it's a whole process of trying to figure out what this kind of vibration is about the meanderer and how to deal with it and how to make a smooth kind of transition with things. So, yeah, the meanderers. And maybe the redemptive thing about them is that they somehow keep coming across extraordinary things, or, I don't know, survive ridiculous things. Maybe they meander their way off of cliffs by accident. Maybe they meander their way off of bridges by accident. Maybe they meander their ways into oncoming traffic. Strange things like that. So, we'll see how that idea marinates. It was a lot of fun, wasn't it? We got a chance to talk with Max from iHeart. My mom drove all the way out from Illinois to see us out there in Iowa. And now thinking back on it, I wish I would have talked with her a little bit more. I just got so caught up in all these stories from all these people, interviewing them and stuff. But you can hear her. She's over there in that segment with the lady talking about the wedding, the surprise wedding. And how crazy is that, right? Seems like a Twilight Zone episode. So I just, I had a few to drink, and I just started just kind of following the inspiration where it took me in terms of interviewing people, and that's that crazy stuff we got. Yes, unfortunately, the event was rained out for Yachtly Crew. Yachtly Crew didn't play. However, it was a paid vacation, and had we played, I wouldn't have gotten all the cool podcast material that I did, all the good coverage. So that's the Constellation Prize, if you will. Not a consolation, but a Constellation Prize. We got a chance to talk to the fellas from Farewell Milwaukee, Robin Ryder, who's our drum tech guy for Yachtly Crew. That was great to be able to be out there with Yachtly Crew, meet all these wonderful people, and I would love it if we're back next year. I think for a chili cook-off, I think it's kind of required that you have an outdoor, it's an outdoor thing. There's a lot of heat out there. A lot of stuff being cooked out there. So, remember, folks, keep your eyes on the magic. Keep your eyes on the synchronicities, and be grateful for all of the signs, all of the unique signs that the universe gives you that lead you in the direction towards being the best version of yourself. That is the barometer. And also, give yourself, do an experiment. Try an experiment sometime. Just turn off your TV. Don't watch any news. Don't watch any politics. Just really lead with your heart. Just try it. See how it affects your brain. Try it. Some folks say, well, I've always wanted to paint. I just don't have time. Well, do you have time to watch the news? Yeah. Do you have time to argue over politics? Yeah. Do you have time? Okay, well, then you got time. You got time. It's creating the things that you want to create. That really, and this is just my opinion because I'm very biased. I'm an artist myself. That is the truest entertainment that one could possibly be involved with, is actually participating in it. So give that a try, folks. You're like, oh, I got this guitar here and I don't play it. Well, there you go. Play your guitar. Pick up your guitar. And next time you feel like turning on the television and watching the news, next time you feel like arguing about politics on Facebook. Pick up your guitar and strum some chords. Get lost in that world. Allow yourself to really, really, really dive into the world that you yourself are creating. Because you are not beholden to all the illusions and all the stuff that everybody else is barking at you. Carve your own path. You're the master of your own destiny. You're listening to Inspirado Projecto. Until next time, keep the Inspirado flowing.